How are we doing, everyone? Welcome back to the Shaped Through Fate podcast, episode number 3 today. I will be talking to the wonderful Jonny Phillips. Here's what he sounds like.
What's one or two to you? Just memories of fame. What are we to you? Serial numbers on a page.
So yeah, he's ridiculously talented as a musician, and he's an absolutely wonderful human being. We did a tour in 2017. I've known him for years, and I'm so glad that I can call him a friend. That's the soppy bit out of the way. The song you just heard was R2U, so go and have a listen to the full thing on Spotify. He's got his EP up on there, he's got some other tunes up on there, and he's releasing an EP with his new band, the Jonny Phillips Trio. So that'll be coming soon, but you'll hear all about that in this episode, so enjoy. This is a chat with Jonny Phillips.
Shaped Through Fate podcast.
Shaped Through Fate podcast, guest today, Jonny Phillips. How are we doing?
Yo, man. All good, all good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for coming on.
Of course, pleasure.
First off, how have you been during lockdown? Because I've not spoken to you for a while.
I have been pretty good, actually. I've managed to keep pretty busy. Not so much on the music front, but I'm a postie by day, so I've been working harder than I ever have.
A lot of exercise, I can imagine.
It is a lot of exercise, yeah. 10K a day, I think it is.
That's not bad.
Including stairs. It's not bad. I feel it.
Yeah, enjoying it?
That's great, yeah. It's just get left to it by yourself. Not a lot of management involved, so I'm happy.
Fair, and I mean, we'll get to it later, but I see you've finally got some gigs booked in.
Yes, yeah. It's finally got round to sort of getting on it, and with lockdown lifting as well, it's been a bit easier to book stuff in.
Yeah, right.
So I haven't wanted to put too much pressure on myself to book stuff in case it all goes wrong again.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Right, so yeah, I didn't want to jump straight in with the music stuff. I wanted to see, just check that you're all right first, because, like I say, we've exchanged a couple of messages, but it's been a torrid time for a lot of people. So just wanted to check
it's been a
that
busy
you're all
old time.
good. Right, so let's get into the musical background then. What made you fall in love with music? Was there a band or an artist that made you think, I want to pick up my guitar?
Well, it's probably quite cliche, but it started with my dad. Actually, he played 12-string when I was younger, and I remember one day we were talking about music we liked, or there was a song on the radio, and it was Peaches by Stranglers.
Right.
And we're like, I love this song, this is great, singing along. And went to bed that evening, and then he came up half an hour later and was like, look what I just worked out on guitar, and he played Peaches that we just heard on the radio. I was like, that's so cool.
Nice.
I want to be able to do that. And then that year I got 3 CDs, which were my first 3 albums, which was Jerry Lee Lewis, Buddy Holly, and Queen 2 Greatest Hits.
Right.
And he sort of got a range of them for me, so I could kind of choose what I liked. And I think I probably went down the Queen route. In hindsight, that's
It's not a bad route to go down, the Queen route.
It's not a big shoes to fill, but it's it's good. And that's kind of where it all kind of stemmed from, anyway. And then started guitar lessons and never looked back.
Nice. So the first band I'm aware that you were in was Willoween. Is that the right pronunciation? Because I remember this is the one thing I always got wrong. George used to tell me off for it.
Yeah, George, the drummer. It's Willowin. But to be honest,
okay.
You're not alone. We got so many different variations of it. We once had Willoween with 3 E's in it. What kind of word has 3 E's in it anyway, consecutively?
Yeah, I'm bound to get it wrong again, so I apologise for that. So was that the first band you were in, or was there a band before that?
No, that was the first one, yeah. I was always playing in my bedroom, just, noodling around. And then me and a friend of mine, Mike, who played keys, we decided to jam a bit and see what we could do. And then George, who you mentioned earlier, was a drummer. We met him and started jamming a bit. And then it went from sort of school concerts into, bigger things. George is very aspirational. He's always looking for the next big opportunity, or if there isn't one, he makes it. So he's a great guy to be in a band with, for sure. But eventually the keyboardist moved up north, and we got Jazz Watkins on violin. She joined. So we became a sort of indie folk trio, I guess. And yeah, we did a couple of tours. We released an album and a couple of EPs. But then we kind of, life happens and you all go your separate ways. So it didn't work out. But we're doing it for a number of years.
I think I saw you live once when you were playing the show where you'd gone to Bamboo City.
Oh, yeah.
I pestered George to be on that show. So maybe he begrudgingly put him on it, but I was definitely on it. And then... that was the only time I got to see you guys live, and then
was that the Winchester in Bournemouth?
Yeah,
I remember. That was our only show, was Bamboo City, actually. So
yeah, there was Ophelia as well. They were on it, and they were wicked.
Yeah, they were
I
awesome,
remember
actually.
them. Yeah. So I remember seeing that, but I kept seeing the name pop up, and you were constantly doing stuff and being busy. And I guess a lot of that is knowing George. He is very, like you say, he's very aspirational, and he's busy. So
yeah,
I guess it was good to have him around and
100%.
His extensive list of contacts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always growing. He's always he just talks to anyone. He's such a I've got so much sort of thanks and appreciation for him, because although we made a lot of mistakes and a lot of it was kind of maybe poor planning, so much of it was on it, and he was just so positive about it and pushing us, because we did so much back in the day. We kind of just learned so much from him, and just from getting out there and doing gigs and doing music, and goes from all the way from the terrible gigs that you've driven 3 hours to get to. There's one person in the audience.
Yeah.
So Isle of Wight Festival we played one year.
Did you?
Yeah. What year was that? I want to say 2015.
You're going to make yourself feel old now.
I know.
You're going to make yourself feel old.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it too much. I know it was 2015. It was the one with Biffy Clyro and Red Hot Chili's headline.
Yeah, that's not a bad line.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But we played...
Did you ever... I suppose you must have done Purbeck as well as them. Did you ever get round to do it? Because I know you did Purbeck on your own.
Yep. I think we did it twice. We did...
Okay.
I don't think we've done it at the new site, because they moved site a few years ago. But we played at the old site, which is a lot smaller, but it's
right.
Such a cool festival. Purbeck Valley Folk Festival, that's the place to be.
It's so chilled out. I did it that one year, and I wasn't sure what to think, but it was so chilled out. It was lovely.
Yeah, it's almost like everyone knows everyone, even though they don't. It's getting bigger and bigger, so it's getting quite busy with the crowds and things. But chat to anyone, and it's like you've known them for years. It's such a strange but awesome vibe to be part of. I'm actually playing this year as well, actually.
Are you?
I don't think it's actually been announced yet, so announcing it here.
An exclusive.
Yeah, me with the band, the Jonny Phillips trio, playing on the... we haven't even been given a date yet. I think it's all been a bit reserved, because it's 19th to 20th of August, so it's kind of a bit far off given the state of the world to lock anything in too much. But we will be there playing at some point.
Yeah, so if you want to catch a Jonny Phillips trio, you've got to buy a ticket to go to all 3 days.
That's it. That's pretty much it.
So segueing into the Jonny Phillips music then.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember earlier the first time that I actually played a show with you. I think it must have been the Four Horsemen. There was that time where George put us on the same bill. I can't remember who else was on it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that might have been the first time. You remember?
Yes, I do. Was that...
a guy from Manchester. Was he Manchester?
Yeah, Billy... it's gone. Billy Liar? Was it Billy Liar?
Possibly. I think we did our tour in 2017. Was it? It can't have been that many years ago. Was it that many years ago?
It probably was. Considering, the last year doesn't really count as time. So...
yeah, I think it must have been then, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
so posters and things.
How did you get into doing your own stuff? It ran parallel with the band, didn't it, for a bit?
Yeah, there was a bit of an overlap. And I think it came about mainly where we needed a support act. I think that was the first time that I played. We needed a last-minute support act, and I'd say, I'll play half an hour solo, and then you guys can come up as well. Or no, that wasn't it. We had a long show. It was a 2-hour show. We didn't have enough material at the time. So I said, well, I'll play half an hour of stuff, and then we'll do the rest of it as the band. And then, that was a nerve-wracking thing, because I hadn't really played by myself in public before. But it seemed to go down okay. I got through it. And I was like, well, I'll carry on doing this then. and there were songs I was writing for the band, and other songs that weren't really the sort of same sort of vibe, I guess, which were a bit more guitar-based, guitar-led sort of things. And so I used them as solo stuff. My first EP came out while the band was still together, I think.
So was that The Great Train? Was that EP?
Yeah, The Great Train of Thought Robbery. That came out in 2016, and that was my first solo one.
And maybe it was one of the first shows you were promoting that then, because when I got told by George I was on the show, I tend to do the thing of I'll look at the lineup and go and listen to them. I think you had This Keeps Happening. Did you have a video for that?
Yes, yeah.
I'm sure I remember seeing a video for that, so that must have been the first time I actually heard you on your own. YouTube videos work, mate.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I used to be quite good at doing videos. I was just I'm not so good these days. But I think that was with Oak Sessions. I don't know if you've heard of Oak Sessions.
The name rings a bell.
Yeah, it's one of these acoustic.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
it's down by a river. Done a couple, so they're good company actually. Yeah, and they just record a live video in a cool setting of your choice, and you get a nice little video out there as well. It's good for promo.
Is that still online?
I believe so. I haven't taken it down, so it's probably there somewhere.
I'll link it in the description for anyone that wants to go and watch
Nice.
it. There is a lot more recent stuff, but you can go and see where it all started.
Well, there's actually a music video for Sipping at the Sun off that EP as well, which is a homemade.
Oh, did that come first?
No, that came after. Those other videos were kind of just live sessions that were filmed. But the Sipping at the Sun,
I'm with you now.
Me and my now wife kind of spent a day just going around filming, and got a music video out of it. So
Nice.
it's good fun. It's a nice summary little thing.
Yeah, I'll link. We can jam the description. So what my plan is, because the first episode I did of this, we were recording the video as well.
Okay.
And my computer nearly blew up with the amount of data that was going in it.
Oh, right.
So now I'm just sticking to audio. So I'll be uploading it to YouTube so we can just cram the description full of whatever plugs you want to make.
Cool.
So
I'm glad you're not
we'll
filming
put
the
those two in
video,
there.
because my face is right up in the camera and I've got a dirty kitchen behind me.
You've got your EP, The Interim.
It's an album, full album.
Yeah.
11.
See, I get confused with EP album. I mean, I listened to it today, so
Oh, right.
I know
Oh,
it's
nice.
there. I did. I don't. I've got it all written down. So yeah, I listened to that today. Well, saying that, I've listened to it a few times, but I needed to learn or relearn the title of it. So The Interim's on Spotify if anyone wants to go listen to it. Search Jonny Phillips. So what was the recording process with that? Or how did that one come about? Because I mean, for me, if you say The Interim, it's, well, in between a couple of things. So was there a plan to do more stuff after?
Yeah, that was the whole kind of idea of it. It's a very stripped back sound. It's just me and a guitar recorded live. Like, I think each song took a couple of takes or whatever to get the right one, but
Right.
that's all it is. There's no production on it, that sort of thing. But yeah, it was designed as a sort of interim release for the band stuff, which I'm actually working on at the moment, which should be out this year if all goes well.
How far along's that? Is that in the process of being recorded? Or?
It has all been recorded. It's been mixed at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah, it was recorded 2 years ago, so I worked nice and quickly.
Okay.
Stuff happens. You fall in and out of love with it. I never would describe myself as a perfectionist, but I think I really am. I don't want to release it unless it's absolutely perfect. And all the releases up until this current one, where I've decided to kind of relax a bit, I've released them and they've not been quite what I wanted. I could have done better, or could have taken more time,
Right, yeah.
But I guess that's always going to be the way, isn't it? And
Yeah, I suppose it's one of them that when it's out there, you'll hear it and be like, I just wish I'd have done that. I wish I'd have done that, or I wish I'd have changed this a little bit. So
yeah, well, that's it. But other people don't hear that. You're always your own worst critic, and I'm pretty harsh on myself.
what was the recording process with that one then?
For the interim,
No, for the band stuff, because you say it's all recorded.
yeah,
Was that, I guess that's got a little bit more production than the interim, because what I liked about the interim is seeing you live. It's exactly like, if you just shut your eyes, it's like watching a Jonny Phillips gig,
yeah,
which I really like, because sometimes when you record, you tend to lose that live element to it, and it almost sounds too removed from the live setting. So I really like the fact that it was like watching a Jonny Phillips gig. Like, it really caught everything that you probably wanted it to catch.
Yeah, there are a couple of definite bum notes in there as well. So it's definitely like watching a Jonny Phillips gig.
It's music magic. As I say, I've listened to it a few times, and I've had the pleasure of watching you live a lot, and that makes it sound really bad. No, I've had the joy of watching you multiple times, and so it was really nice to listen to it because it wasn't too far removed from the live setting.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of what I wanted to go for. I didn't want to have too much pressure of other things, like post-production stuff. It's a bit too nitty-gritty sometimes for me, and a whole album is a lot to focus on, and I have quite a one-track mind, so it was it's nice just to kind of just set up a mic and plug in a guitar and just go for it.
Yeah.
And that was recorded with Lee Razzledove. He's another fantastic local musician. He does a lot of recording himself and things as well, so it's nice guy to work with.
It was his voice at the beginning of RTU, wasn't it?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
The bonus track.
Yeah, I thought it shouldn't be a bonus track; it should be the lead single. I remember that was the one song that I saw the video of, and then we did our tour. And every night I would say, "You're going to play it," and you would say, "No, it's in a different tuning. I'm not playing it." To this day, I haven't seen you play that live. I'm just going to point that out. So
I think I've only played it maybe once or twice.
The next show I'm at, I expect I'll bring a guitar so you can tune it different.
It's not really an excuse, is it? It's different tuning, so I can't play it. I was just not very good at multitasking on stage, like talking to people and tuning. You don't have to, just tune it.
I'll guitar tech for you that day so you can change guitars.
Cool.
So the new album then, the trio.
Yeah.
How did the trio come about? Talk to me about how the trio.
Yeah, so the trio is made up of me, on bass is Chris Fancy James, and then on drums is Justin Young, and they are both the Bees, and I am as well now in Krista Green and the Bees.
Right.
And the reason it came about is we were rehearsing for a Krista Green and the Bees gig, and then I realised that I had Chris on bass because he was part of Willowin for a bit. And then he played the Bamboo City gig.
Right, okay, yeah.
So he knew all the songs, and we played together quite a lot. And asked Justin, are you free at the weekend to play? It was Wimborne Folk Festival. And he said, yeah. I just learned all the songs. He's such a good drummer. So both of them are really talented musicians. So I basically just pinched Krista's band, made it my own band.
I suppose it's good that you got that vibe, though, because going into a room with musicians that you've never jammed with before can be quite a daunting and somewhat disheartening experience if it doesn't go off how you expect it to. We've had that in the band with a few drummers before we got our current drummer, and we'd sit in the room and be like, have you actually heard the songs we're playing? Because it sounds like you're learning it on the spot and this is really unenjoyable. There just wasn't the vibe. So I can imagine if you go in there with people you play well with, then it's just going to flow, which I guess helps. So then going into the album, was that recorded before they were in it, or are they involved in the recording?
Yeah, they were involved in it, for sure, because we've played a few gigs together. Some of the songs are off the interim, but they kind of, I feel, deserve more of a band sound. So one of the guys they were both in a band called Altered Bridge Tribute Band.
I remember them. Oh, so they've been jamming together for quite a while then?
Yeah, they've been in so many bands together. Cover bands, original bands, tribute bands. Like all, they work really, really well together. So they're good to have as a kind of coming as a duo, as it were, sort of thing. So
a solid rhythm section.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they were really on it. So they got their bits down for this. It's a 3-track EP. So it's not even like a lot of work. It's just taken me so long, and I'm the one holding it up as well. The others smashed it in about 2 days.
Right.
That just don't work well sometimes.
So what stage are you at with it now? You say it's all recorded?
It's all recorded. One of them's mixed, and the other two are being mixed at the moment. In the process of doing all the behind the scenes admin stuff, ready for when they're all ready.
The boring bits.
Yeah, well, It's important, but certainly not my strong point.
So have you got a date in mind, or are we just saying this year?
No, actually, I'm going to
ballpark?
commit right now to the 6th of August.
Okay, 6th of August.
I'll just double check that
Nice.
it's the right date. I'm pretty sure it is. Because we do have a launch date, a launch gig, sorry. That's still to be confirmed, so I'm not going to mention that. But keep an eye out on the various Jonny Phillips socials.
Yeah, plug them, get them in, get the plug in. What are they?
Jonny Phillips
Jonny
Music
Phillips?
for most of them. And the trio is Jonny Phillips Trio on Facebook and the real _JP3 on Instagram.
If you're on the YouTube, they'll all be linked there. I think I can put links in a Spotify description as well.
Nice.
So look up at the description; it'll be there. We'll find a way of getting them in anyway. I'll put them all in the title. It'll be the longest Spotify title in the world.
Just a bunch of hyperlinks.
The songs that so I don't know whether you want to go into too much detail of song meanings. I know a lot of people do and don't, but there was a few that I was listening to that, I mean, I would put forward as a recommendation for if you're going to check Jonny out. These are the songs I'd suggest, and obviously everything's subjective. I like a bit of a mellow ballad type song. Neither Do I is one that stood out for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Neither Do I is pretty self-explanatory. That's on YouTube as well. That's one that I did get a video for. That's pretty simply about spending the time with someone who wants to spend time with you as well, and it being a pretty perfect coming together of two souls, I guess, if you want to get profound about it.
So I know I've mentioned this song, and I will keep mentioning this song. RTU. Now, I can't remember if it was during Lockdown 1 or Lockdown 2, but you posted it online. You were in the camper doing a video for it.
Yeah, I did it.
Is that right?
Yep.
So I guess it took on a different meaning given the current situation. So what was the initial thought process behind RTU? Because I mean, it's lyrically, it seems like a bit of a departure from what you normally do.
Yeah, I'd say that was my first sort of step into a bit more real world, kind of less fanciful, sort of political, I guess, meanings and themes,
Right.
which seems to be more the way I'm heading at the moment. I used to write very lovely songs about monsters living in paddling pools and.
Which song was that? Was that Life Raft?
Which one's that? Sorry, the monster in the paddling.
The one with the monsters in the paddling pool. So I remember on the tour you kept saying that this one's about, and for the lot I can't remember. My memory doesn't go back that far. I can't even remember what year it was, but you kept saying, "Oh, this song's about monsters in paddling pools." Which one was that?
Yeah, it's called Monster.
Oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. Yeah,
it was a very.
I'm not very good at picking up on the really obvious things.
We're looking for the in between the lines deep stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean it's my emo background. I've got to find the hidden sad meaning.
To be honest, I've looked into that song with various people and tried to find meanings in it, and there's a lot in there. It could all be taken as a metaphor, so give that a listen with a different perspective, fresh ears. You can find all sorts in there. But yeah, that was quite an early one back in the Willowin days, that one. So from there, it's literally about a monster who lives in a paddling pool and is allergic to lemonade. Goes from there to more sort of, this is the world we're living in, what are we going to do with ourselves? You know.
Nice. I think one of the things that I did like about the interim, and when you said you'd come on, I'm like, I'm going to have a Jonny Phillips binge now on Spotify. And there was a lot of songs that I hadn't heard in a while. So I listened to the interim when it came out and then listened to certain songs on and off. And then to listen to it, it was just like, I remember where I was when I first heard it, because obviously we did the tour. And a few of them were from the tour, like Burning Rocks.
Yeah.
That was one that I think the first time I heard that was, you remember that gig we played at the golf club in Portland or Purbeck or something?
Oh, over in Purbeck, yeah.
And I think that was the first time I heard that song. There was another one. I think it was Life Raft, because on the tour you'd not named it, and you kept, like, I think the first 3 nights you called it something different, and then you're like, this song's called Life Raft, and I guess that title stuck. Another song that I think, like, I associate with you, this is the one, so if you're going to listen to a Jonny Phillips song, go and listen to Things. You're probably bored of that song, but
no, I mean, it's fun to play, to be honest.
I think you closed with it most nights, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good closer.
Yeah, and it's what I would I mean, I'm going to put every song by you forward because I enjoy your music, but Things, if you're going to listen to one, for me, I would listen to Things. As the guy that plays them and writes them, if you were to say to somebody that hasn't heard you, right, here's one song of mine, what's it gonna be? What are you playing them?
Things is probably a good one, actually, because it kind of is right. It kind of sums up the older style of writing and the newer direction they've been going in as well. It's kind of got a good combo of both. It's got some fun old vocal bits. I'm quite pleased with the lyrics, and there's a little guitar breakdown in it as well. So it's kind of a lot of aspects of various songs that I like condensed into one, doing all the techniques and things that I'm a fan of and like playing. So to be honest with you, I think that's a good shout.
Nice. I mean, we're going to put them, so the plan is for everyone that I have a chat to for however, I think it's going to be 2 weeks, so interview will go up for 2 weeks. There'll be a Spotify playlist of all things Jonny if you want to go and find that. So search Shaped Through Fate on Spotify and you'll be able to find all of Jonny's music. Not that I'm trying to take away from you, but it'll all count towards your stats anyway.
Nice.
So,
I appreciate it, man.
I say that when I was saying that, I was like, I feel like I'm robbing you, but then I'm not. I'm just getting you. Maybe people. Oh yeah, go and listen to it. I did a deep dive, and I didn't know you were on Bandcamp, but I found out that you're on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And the latest release I can find, unless you've released one on Facebook that I couldn't find, Everybody Knows.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I've got many different
Is there some
angles.
Yeah, like for me, that sounds really folky. Like there's some. Is it mandolin?
Yeah.
It sounds like there's some mandolin on it and like a folky drum or something.
It's
story behind that one.
Well, the story behind it is it used to be called The Story back in this really, really old song. Fully honest with the story, it's meant to be part of a local collaboration album, not a collaboration, a collection album. So a collection of greatest hits of the local musicians, and there was a whole contract and everything which I had to read. And I was a bit unsure about some of the aspects of the contract, which was you're not allowed to record the song anywhere else. So it was a bit dodgy anyway, so I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll do a song that I haven't recorded before.
I think I remember you talking about this.
Yeah.
I'm sure I remember you talking about it. And obviously, I didn't know what the song was. I didn't realise this is the song.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
It all falls into place.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense now.
So it was recorded over at Basement Studios in Wimborne. And I don't know how many artists were on it, but I didn't actually find out because the guy who organised it all, wrote the contract, ended up disbanding the project anyway, and then it kind of wasn't continued. So I'd been in there and recorded my various parts, singing, guitars, and any backing vocals and stuff. And then it all just got disbanded. I was like, oh, well, that's a shame.
Oh, okay.
But the guys over at Basement, Ben Jones and Sean Hatton, I believe, carried on working on it anyway because they quite liked it, which was nice. And then years and years down the line, I asked them how it was getting on. And they said, "Oh yeah, it's we've worked on it. Here it is." And they sent it over, and that's what they'd done from just a guitar and vocal take and a couple of backing vocals.
Oh, okay.
They'd done all the production on it and the mixing in various bits. I was like, that's flipping awesome. Oh my goodness.
It is very good. I was pleasantly surprised when I heard it because I wasn't aware that you were on Bandcamp. That will be linked in the description as well. And I managed to find it. The Great Train of Thought Robbery, that's on there as well, or there's two of them on there at least.
Oh, right, yeah, you could be.
I would say it was a deep dive. I went to one website and scrolled down, so it's not really...
To be honest, that's as deep as you're going to get, I think, with me.
yeah, there's not very much investigative journalism going on there. I went to a very well-known music website and you're on it. Surprise. So let's have a look going forward then. What's the plan? So EP comes out August the 6th.
Yep. That's unofficially...
The unofficial date, yeah.
Oh, well, the unofficial title is the Yin. It's called Yin.
The Yin, okay.
Just Yin. All being well, I've got plans for a follow-up. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for now because, again, I'm quite scared of commitment. I don't want to... I don't want to go on record saying this is what I'm going to do because if the last one's anything to go by, it'll be 5 years down the line before I release.
So make sure you go and follow Jonny on all the socials to find out what the follow-up is.
Yeah.
He's guaranteed it within the next 2 years.
Yeah, I can commit to that. That's okay.
I've decided at the end of, so I'm going. I mean, unless there's anything you want to tell us about, I suppose we've spoken about the future. We've spoken about your writing process. In fact, no, we haven't. We haven't spoken about the writing process, I suppose. So, as a singer-songwriter, obviously, if it's not flowing, it's not flowing. Do you find that anything helps you when it comes to writing?
Unfortunately, just time isn't always. This is why it takes me so long to do things, because
Right.
I'm not very good at sort of tapping into the mindset at will. But to be honest, I used to write by writing the guitar bit first, because I played so much guitar all the time, and then things just happened and fell into place, lyrics fell into place. I had the time to do that as well. Whereas nowadays, being a postie, I get time to think, but not much time to actually play the guitar. I mean, maybe I could take my guitar out my round. That might please the residents, or
the
not.
A singing postie, that's going to go viral. That would 100% go viral.
I'll have to
So
do
there
it.
you go. There's the advertising campaign for the new EP.
Yeah, singing to all the residents. Listen to my EP. So I've started writing the lyrics first, and then coming home and trying to fit it to a guitar bit before I have to go pick my daughter up from nursery. So it's very alien to me. It's not something I've ever really done before. I've tried doing it. It just has never worked for me. But because I don't really have another option, that's how I've been doing it for the past couple of years, which has been cool, actually. It's been quite kind of refreshing because, like all musicians, I guess, just keep falling in and out of love with it. The pandemic came at a good time, I guess, because I've really fallen out of love with doing any sort of music. Even like listening to it and everything, I was like, I've just done too much and pushed myself and put too much pressure on myself. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. And was kind of given that chance because everything shut down. It was kind of a good excuse to kind of have a mini hiatus, I guess. But then during that, I've kind of rekindled it, kind of altered my perspective on music and doing music for a living. So it's been quite refreshing in that respect. And it has kind of forced me into, changing the way I do write, changing the way I think about it, all this sort of stuff. So it's, it's looking up. I'm feeling very positive about it now. Anyway.
It's good. So, it's good to hear. Yeah, we don't want you giving up on music. So,
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And anyway, you're promising us Yin's coming out August 6th, and then there's another one like maybe 6 months later. So, yeah. So yeah, you got to stick around to get those out, and then I'm sure you mentioned a third one after that, but we'll talk about that another day. So my thing at the end of this is I'm going to ask some quick fire questions that, I mean, obviously you're going to have to think about them, but don't think too deeply about them. Just say.
Okay,
there's three. Cool. Somebody's met you for the first time, and they've said, right, give me 5 bands. What are your top 5 bands?
Top 5? Oh my goodness.
Top 5. Don't think, just say.
Cool. So I get to listen to a ton of music every day as part of my job. So I'm very...
That's a very good point. I'm quite envious of you for that. That's a very good point, yeah.
Part of it. So I've been listening to a lot of, I guess, European, but focusing on Dutch psych rock has been my niche.
Okay.
Recently.
That's a there. Okay.
So I'm going to say UT, which is spelled EUT. They've recently had an album out called Party Time, and they're kind of a psych pop, I guess. They're great fun. And then Indian Askin is another Dutch. They're more psych rock sort of thing. And then I want to say a band called Komodo, which again is the same sort of theme, a bit more like world music with that one.
Right.
Influences anyway. My Baby, they're kind of a blues electronica band.
Right.
Which is a crazy fusion, but works so well. And then, how many is that? 4?
That's 4.
My last one is Group Love, who I've been a huge fan of ever since they started back in 2000 and something. Long time, anyway.
Going a bit further on that then, I'm putting together a playlist of the people that I have a chat to. They can pick one song. So you can pick one. Yeah, you can pick. So your music's going on a playlist. You don't have to worry about your own stuff. If you could say, right, everyone has to hear this one song. This is it. You've got everyone in the world, and they're going to listen to whatever track you say now.
I'm going to have to say It's Love But It's Not Mine by Ut.
I'm going to write this down because I'm not going to remember it. It's Love. But so what draws you to that song?
It's just seriously catchy. And it's their first single off their latest album. And yeah, I mean, I love those guys so much. They did a live stream album launch because they launched it during the last lockdown. And it was so good. It was such a good show. They're on tour at the moment, but only in the Netherlands. So can't get to see them this time. But one day, I myself will get them over here to the UK. That's another promise that will probably not happen.
So my hope from this playlist is by the end of it, we'll have such an eclectic mix of songs that it will get songs that people wouldn't normally go and search out into people's ears, because I think that's a good thing. Because I mean, I'm very bad at it. Is I got what I think I like, and I won't tend to veer outside of a music comfort zone, I suppose. So the whole point of this playlist is you'll pop it on, and you've got so many different influences and so many different genres and stuff. So that's the plan.
Amazing. I'm well on board with that.
That is the plan. So the rules are, if you listen to that playlist, you got to go front to back. You can't skip anything, and you just got to immerse yourself in a whole range of music.
Sweet. That's what I'm all about. So, I love it.
Okay, the last one. This is something I can't even remember how I came up with the idea, but it's the idea. So, all hypothetical. Well, I mean, the way we're getting to the question is hypothetical, because England have brought back capital punishment, and unfortunately, mate, you're up for the chop tomorrow.
That sounds about right.
So you can choose your last meal. You've got starter, main, dessert, and a drink. What are we having?
Hot damn.
You can get it from anywhere. Anyone can cook it. There's no rules. You just have to be able to eat it. So, I mean, you can't order like 600 burritos because you're not going to eat 600 burritos. So you've got to consume it in, because it's your last night. You've got to consume it in a night.
That's cool.
What are we having?
So I will go for some sort of, I'll go for pita bread with a olive oil balsamic dip. Maybe some olives. That'll be my starter.
Nice.
Then my main will be my wife's tagine, because that is the best thing that I have ever eaten. It is so tasty. And we're going with a Moroccan theme here.
Okay.
So far. The dessert would probably have to be probably like a light cheesecake, a vegan cheesecake of some sort.
Yeah, what are you washing it down
I'll
with?
have a lovely IPA, please, mate.
Nice. There you go. So, yeah.
I smashed that out of the park. That was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought you'd spend a bit more time, like, contemplating what you're having, but yeah, your order's gone in quick. You can eat that.
I tell you why.
Eat that twice, because you.
It's because I listened to the Off Menu podcast with Ed Gamble and James Acaster, which is exactly.
Have I stolen someone's idea?
It's basically the guest comes to a dream restaurant. They have to talk through their menu, which is pretty much.
I've made it a macabre version of that. my version is you're heading to the gallows.
Good.
Yeah, you're heading to the gallows tomorrow. Sorry.
Well, to be honest, that's the last meal, and theirs is the dream meal. So is that slightly different?
Oh, okay.
I think you can get away with it.
Yeah, I think there's enough points of difference so I won't get sued. Although I don't know whether you could copy. Anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah.
Good question, though. Good question.
Thanks, mate. So yeah, I think we're all wrapped up. So thanks for having a chat.
Yeah, thanks
I
so much,
appreciate
man. It's good to speak to you. It's been a while.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, and hopefully when things get back to normal, we can play some shows together. Cause
yes, please.
I miss playing shows, and then I miss playing shows with you.
Yeah, we should do a comeback tour. We'll get George on it, booking all the shows again.
Yeah. Yin coming out, or just Yin coming out. I tend to put the in front of everything, but Yin is coming out tentatively August 6th with a release show, so follow Johnny on all the socials to keep up to date with that.
Yep.
Other than that, mate, I think we are going to call it a wrap on this one.
Nice.
So thanks very much for taking the time out and having a chat with me.
A pleasure, mate.
Yeah, hopefully I will see you soon, mate.
Sweet, and you as well. Take care.
See you soon, mate. Take it easy.
I've been sipping at the sun, been tasting the rays. Though I don't get much right now, it's tasted okay.